There are two reasons why the school is thriving. Three, I'll say. First of all, the mission. The mission drives everything. Mission and purpose drives everything. Secondly, the support, the tremendous support that McQuaid gets from the McQuaid community. And number three, the planning that has gone on. And many of you here tonight have been very much a part of that planning. I see Dan Mahar, Bill Carpenter, Bill Cherry, and others that have been very involved in the planning for the school. Just last week, McQuaid was designated as a platinum school by the College Board for Advanced Placement Achievement. The College Board out of Princeton, New Jersey, which administers the SAT, it's the highest designation that a high school can receive in the United States. It's a huge designation for McQuaid, and it speaks to the excellence that goes on here every day. We have a vibrant student life. For me, being in the halls, and I wish I were here more in the halls because it's so exciting to see the faces on these young men and what they're doing, sports, activities, the clubs, it's really amazing. 85% of our students participate in one or more sports. In 2023, 7 McQuaid teams won sectional championships in football, soccer, cross country, skiing, outdoor track and field, and golf. When you talk about the pursuit of excellence in academics, in sports, in theater, in the arts, it's all there. So I can report to you that McQuaid is doing extremely well. And I think it can do even much better.
I was one of those middle-class kids. And I remember vividly when we were sitting and my mother was trying to figure out how in the world she could afford the tuition. And she asked the person who was in the room, we're fine, we don't need anything, but it's a lot. And he looked at my mother and he said, Mrs. D'Antonio, if your son can get in here, we're going to find a way to make it work. And it was like the weight of the world was lifted off of her shoulders. And that's the position I want us to be in. That's the position we need to be in. Because, the students who have no money, that's an easy sell. It's also the kids who are solidly middle class, but mom and dad are both working. There's not a ton of extra money around the house, and they can't see their way clear to paying $16,800. Maybe they can pay $5,000, maybe they can pay $8,000, maybe they can pay $10,000. We need to close that gap for every student, and so with your help, I very much would hope that we'll continue to be able to do that. That is part of the mission that unites us all. I say to the parents, you need to consider our tuition as an investment in your son. Are you willing to make that investment? And if they, and if you are, if this is the person you want your son to be, then it's a no-brainer. But I'm going to give you some numbers, which many of you in the room who go back a ways with the school and remember Father Fisher will remember when he talked about closing the gap. We make an investment as a school in every student, even students who pay the full tuition, which this year is $16,800. It costs us $19,200 to educate students here. So every kid who walks through the door, even if they're paid full freight, we have a $2,000+ gap that we need to fund. And if you factor in, as Peter said, 34% of our students get some form of financial aid. Well, if you factor that in, we net about $14,000. So we have about a $5,000 shortfall on average for each one of our 743 students. That's where you all have been so helpful.
McQuaid has taught me the importance of discipline and humility. Dedicated groups like our mission and ministry has helped plan our service trips and decide our service hour requirement. At first, I used to envy these requirements and service trips. I thought it was pointless and dumb, but as I began to fulfill them, I realized not only the satisfaction of continuing to help my brothers and sisters around the Rochester area, but the importance of giving back. This is such a fundamental part of McQuaid, one that's intertwined with the values that we teach and focus on. All of these things have prepared and continually to prepare us for the future, not only for college, but for life beyond.
On behalf of McQuaid, we are very appreciated that you give them a chance to come here and get a great education. But not only that, but have a great education, have a big community of boys who are just all around so supportive, and I'm never going to forget this in my entire life, and I can't wait to grow with all these boys.
We want to flourish. We want to flourish like we're thriving now in every way. If this school remains as strong as it is academically, in the vibrancy of its student life, if we stay true to the mission and purpose of the school, and bear down on the values, it's a differentiator in the schools in the state, which is just huge. And the students will come, and we will have a thriving school.